All right, what's going on, everyone? This is Taylor. It is Tuesday, June 28th, about 8 p.m. Eastern. And typically, I don't bring you guys a video on Tuesdays. However, pretty crazy price action here today. The markets got hammered. So before I can call it a night, I got to get y'all a video and got to get you prepared for the next few days here. But nasty action, guys. The S&P's down 2%. The QQQ down 3%. And then you got stocks like Tesla and Amazon down 5%. So pretty good flush here today. And now the big question is, does today's flush open the door for a move right back down to those lows around 360? Or was today's price action a bit more of the shenanigans, so to say, that we tend to see before the big quarterly expiration? And for those of you that watched the Sunday video, you'll remember this Thursday, June 30th, is your big quarterly expiration. So we'll dive in here, guys. And personally, I did come into the week looking for a bit more upside in the market. So today's flush certainly caught me by surprise a bit, and we do have a few open positions on that are going to need a little bit more upside here between now and Friday to bring home the paychecks. But we'll jump in here, and if you guys look at the 15-minute chart of the S&Ps, and you had the same dynamic on the QQQ, Tesla's, Amazon, coming into the open, we had these beautiful 15-minute squeezes with the 15-minute buy signal from the Big 3 indicator. And you can see the green dots there. So good looking squeeze, and you got the pop, but ultimately that pop turned out to be a bit of a bull trap because boy, oh boy, did they basically walk this market lower all day long. So nasty action, and we know we're in a bearish market. The bigger picture structure is bearish. There's weekly squeezes firing short. And I think eventually, guys, we're going to come down here and make a new low. I think the S&Ps could get as low as about 320. The question for now is, do we immediately roll over, or does the market try to squeeze the shorts one more time into Thursday, Friday? So a few observations from today. One thing I'm going to watch for tomorrow, if we're going to roll over and if we're going to keep on heading lower, one thing I expect to see are my sell signals on the lower time frames. So interesting observation number one from today. Despite the flush, I still don't have any sell signals on the lower time frames. So if you guys look over here on this chart, with the Big 3 indicator, the 2-hour, 1-hour, 30-minute, and 15-minute charts on the S&Ps, they're still neutral. Now, if I wake up tomorrow and I have a 15-minute sell signal, I have a 30-minute sell signal, etc., yeah, then the market's in more trouble. We're probably going to head lower. But I think at least interesting to see a flush and no sell signals. And if you look at the QQQ, down 3% today, as far as my indicator goes, this is still neutral from the daily chart down to the 15. Tesla, down 5%, or Amazon rather. Amazon's neutral from a daily to a 15-minute. Tesla is neutral from a daily to a 15-minute. Then a name like a Google. Pretty much everything got hammered today, right? So not too many exceptions to the rule, but Google from the daily to the 15 is neutral. So to me, this is interesting. And like I said, if tomorrow morning, the S&Ps, the Qs, etc., if we're pumping out 15-minute, 30-minute hourly sell signals, then yeah, the market's probably going to head lower. But for now, I find this interesting, and it leads me to believe potentially they might try to rally this thing back towards the upside. Now, interesting observation number two, and for those of you guys and gals in the options room, JC was talking about this at the close, and that's the volatility index. Granted, the VIX did pop today. However, it didn't really pop in a panic kind of fashion. Yesterday's high, the daily 21, we pushed here, don't get me wrong, the VIX popped, but it didn't really pop in a huge fashion, which to me is interesting. If today's flush was really the beginning of a huge move to the downside, and this market's ready to collapse, we would tend to expect a much bigger move here in volatility. We would also expect to see, if the VIX is going to turn the corner here and really start to rally back towards 30 plus, I would expect a couple lower time frame buy signals. So big flush in the indices, but they're still neutral, and a pretty decent pop here in VIX, but VIX is still neutral. So obviously, I don't know where the market's going to head tomorrow. If I knew exactly, I would be one rich gentleman, but what I can tell you is on a day like today, what I would typically expect to see would be lower time frame buy signals on the VIX and lower time frame sell signals on the S&Ps and the Qs, etc. Maybe tomorrow morning we do, And if we do, all right, I think we're going to head lower. But with Thursday being the quarterly expiration, and again, these are all things to keep in mind, with a lot of the big open interest over here on the put side, right? Big open interest at 12,000, big open interest at 4K. And interestingly enough, the 4,000 calls and the 3,950 calls and the 3,900 calls, they've got some pretty big open interest as well. So from an options perspective, it does look like if the market wanted to hand out as much pain as possible, we could be looking for a push towards 3,900 between now and Thursday. We open up with some sell signals tomorrow, probably not. But those are a few things I'm watching, guys. Now, for your watch list tomorrow, as far as the S&Ps go, under 380, I think the market is screwed. So under 380, we're probably going to see much lower prices. As long as we can hold 380 like we did today, the next piece of the puzzle here will be a move back above your hourly 21. So make sure you write this down because this is very important. Today's flush could continue to trade lower, or it could be a bit of a bear trap into the quarterly expiration. And this market is basically like one giant trap house. Out here in Fall River, Massachusetts, we have a lot of trap houses. For the market here, you set the bear trap, right? You squeeze the crap out of the shorts. Then the market's ramping up a little bit. So on a morning like today, then you trap the bulls. Then you spank the bulls. What's interesting about today's flush is this basically undercut Friday's low. So what you guys got to imagine is anybody who's buying that gap on Friday, naturally, they're probably going to put their stop orders right under that gap. So potentially here, what you saw today was the market gapping up at the open, trapping some new bulls, and then flushing, killing all those bulls and running all those stops. That might be the scenario here. What we're going to need is a move back above that hourly 21. If, and it's a big if, but if the S&Ps can get back above the hourly 21 EMA, then I do think the potential is still here for, if anything, a push towards 390 towards the end of the week. And as far as a few of our trades go, that's kind of what we're looking for here. So between my Mastery alert service and the options room, we've got shorts on Rivian. Now, granted, today was a nice day to be short, so we're definitely glad that we kept the short in the back pocket. And Rivian still looks like this daily squeeze wants to fire to the downside. We got the big three sell signals on the daily chart and the 15-minute chart. So no problems as far as that short goes. Then we got some condors on the S&Ps. So for the condors, to bring home max profit, we're going to need a close here on Thursday above 37.50. And I'm probably going to look to take off the profits tomorrow, should we get a pop back towards the upside. So we're short Rivian, we got some condors on the S&Ps. But then the trades that are going to need a little bit of a pop here are a couple of put credit spreads. So for those of you in the options room, we have a put credit spread for Thursday's expiration at 3,900. So for that trade to work, we're going to need to see the S&Ps back above the hourly 21. Then we're going to need to see a push into 3,900 for quarterly expiration. That trade, of course, gets a little bit uncomfortable here today, with the flush. Then we've got a trade in Tesla, also a put credit spread. And with Tesla getting hammered here today, that, of course, gets a little bit interesting as well. So for Tesla, our short puts are up here at 720. So for those trades to work, we need Tesla above 720 by Friday, and we need the S&Ps at or above 3,900 by Thursday. So I'm in a position here, guys, where I do need a little bit of upside. That's why I'm trying to lay out a few things to focus on. We need VIX to head back down. So tomorrow, if VIX begins to fade back down, there's your first indication that the market might pop, but you need VIX lower, and you need your S&Ps back above the hourly 21. If those two things can happen, then I do think potentially you get a bit of that short squeeze into Thursday and Friday. If those things fail to happen, and then you see your S&Ps back under 380, that's where it could all get a little bit uglier. So it's a crazy market, guys, and I've been trading for 10 years. This is one of the more difficult markets to trade in recent memory. So keep that in mind. You have decided to embark on, y'all have embarked on a journey here. We all have, into one of the hardest professions in the world. So make sure you never forget that. But for tonight, guys, that's all I got. I'm exhausted. It's been a long 12-plus hour day here at the charts. But as a quick recap, big flush today in the S&Ps, decent pop in the VIX, but no lower time frame sell signals on the S&Ps, the Qs, the Amazons, etc. And for now, no lower time frame buy signals on the volatility index. So for tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, if the VIX can fade, and pretty much fade to the point where it breaks today's low, and then if you can get the S&Ps back above their hourly 21, potentially you might get a bit of a short squeeze here into quarterly expiration, making sure all those puts expire worthless. So, hope you guys found this helpful. I, for one, am ready to go have some dinner here and call it a day. But for those of y'all in the mastery, for those of you in the options room, I will see you in the rooms tomorrow. And for the rest of you, enjoy your night. And yeah, let me know down in the comments how your week is going so far. All right, guys, talk to you soon.